Hey guys, Joebizz34 back again. So I'm here with part 2 of my 1/6 Halloween special edition review, 2023 version. And this is part 2 called Stay Sick. And that's a shout out to Dan Terzo, who always says that. Thanks to him and Tinela for lending their time to do a great interview with me that you'll see a lot more of it in this part that you saw the beginning of in part 1. About a week and a half ago, since I think it's been released now by the time you guys see this one. And he has given me a lot of stuff to show here, which I appreciate. And Stay Sick is kind of his tagline. So that's what this part is called, to kind of honor that. Okay, so in the meantime, I showed a lot of Jason stuff, mainly from him and so on, and some that I did in the first part. So I kind of wanted to take a break from Jason in this part, and at least for now, and hit a different classic character. Obviously, what Halloween special would be complete without Michael Myers, the man that started it all here, right? And there's been an evolution, evolving as far as him goes, as far as the availability of stuff for 1/6. We have a lot more custom options now, instead of like one or two sculpts that we always go to, like the Mad Bug, for example, in the past. And now we have a lot of other artists that have kind of popped their head up and threw their hat in the ring, and there's a lot of good options out there right now, including a newest one that's right here that I'll get into. So I'm going to go into all these and show you my evolution as far as what I have. Some old that you've seen before, some new, and I wanted to go through this to kind of show you guys. And, between more custom options and commercially released options, Myers is running rampant right now. You got a lot of choices to kind of get your hands on parts and things, more coverall options, stuff like that. That gives you a chance to build up a really nice Myers. Whether it's like kind of like a kit bash, or whether it's a commercially released one that you enhance or do better, or hair the sculpt or replace it, whatever. Like I said, I've been interviewing Dan Terzo and the lovely Tinela that we all know. She works with Trick or Treat Studios that does some of the commercially released Myers stuff, so she knows firsthand about that stuff and doing the coveralls for the prototypes and all that. And we'll hear her discuss that and many other things in the rest of the interview that you're going to see. So I'm going to play a little bit more of that in a little bit, and then the final part of it in part 3, along with whatever remaining figures I have to show at this point. So I'm going to show some other stuff that Dan did a little bit later. Non-Jason. I want to give Jason a little bit of a rest here and kind of have him sit out around. So let's get right into it. So these head sculpts here, I built up this one a while ago that kind of evolved through time, like I said, changing out head sculpts and using different head sculpts with it. I mean, this is the classic formula for a Michael Myers, right? The Yinsel coveralls and the shirt underneath. I have a Chris Yeast knife that he made, Lamson knife. Once again, shout out to Chris Yeast. Great weapons, and you can see the reflection there. You can use that as a mirror. And the jungle boots, all that from Platoon, all the right formula that everybody says to use to make the body and the clothing of a custom Myers. But I've had different sculpts through the years, and I wanted to talk about that. This is the newest one, and this is a great piece right here that I'll get into. But let's go backwards in time first. Before we talk about this, let's temporarily swap this, because we're going to talk about that one. It started with this one that I had that was actually a Trick or Treat Myers that Nikolai has reworked for me, and he did an awesome job, and he haired it and he painted, and he's been killing it with doing commission work for people with sculpts. And he actually did this one too that I'll get into. But this is a fantastic sculpt. I'm going to put this on right here so you can kind of first see. And I showed this in last year's, either last year or the year before. I don't remember exactly how many years ago when I first got this one. And this at the time I felt like was the cream of the crop. I was like, wow, this is like my new, tree topper, as you would say. The hair is a little darker. He went the darker route, which is, that's another debate that Myers fans talk about as far as the color of the hair. Some say it was more black in the first one. Maybe it depends on the lighting. Others like to go the lighter look, like kind of like more like that. I'll get into all that. But, for the time, this is the one that he went with. And he did a fantastic job painting it and reworking it for me. And like I said, once again, this started out to be the Trick or Treat Myers sculpt that was not haired. It was plastic haired. And it actually didn't look bad in its own right. But obviously a lot of people have gotten their hands on it and kind of enhanced it with a better paintwork or doing real hair. When I say real hair, I should say real hair on the mask that it's supposedly supposed to be. And yeah, this is no exception. So I had that one. Now, before that, I also had this one that I played around with for a while. And this I got from Kane. And this is an interesting option. I mean, the likeness to the 78 probably isn't there as much, although some people really like this one for the fact that it's an actual real latex mask. And there's been a couple people throughout history that have done this. You know, that if you guys remember that Creations on Earth, he did some of those and stuff like that, and other people have done it. And it's pretty cool. It's a cool concept. It's an actual mask on a blank head sculpt. There's no face or anything. I think I don't remember if there's actually eyes or not. I think if you pull it out, it's actually just kind of like a blank head. Really cool concept. The hair is nice. And again, depending on how it sits, it could alter the look of the mask a bit. You know, if you want to go more to the part 2, I guess you could do that. And I had him sporting this for a short time. You know, kind of gave this a shot, so I'll show you guys. I don't know if this is going to fit as well on there, but just to kind of get the point there. So, I mean, it's cool. It's a nice option. So that's the Kane head sculpt right there. And again, if you like the real mask look option, pretty cool. What you could also do, if you want to, as a prop, you can kind of take this mask off the head altogether and have like him holding it or something like that. Or if you had an unmasked Myers, or use it like with like a Rob Zombie Myers, like when he's holding the mask. You know, you can do a lot of things with it. So it's pretty cool. Glad I still have it. It's part of history. And then we have this one here. Now, this one was actually made a while ago by Matthew Burgett. Now, he was known for doing some Myers sculpts and pumpkins. And I'm friends with him. I've talked to him for a while. I haven't talked to him in a bit, but I did hit him up to let him know that I finally got this one back. This one was gone for a while. Nathan Eakins had it, along with a few others that people, I think, kind of still waiting patiently to get it back. And, you know, he finally finished this one and sent it to me. Matthew did paint and hair his own versions. I have a second one that was originally painted by him, that was, you know, that I kind of left as is, just for nostalgic respect for the artist, that was his original work. I think it was really early. It was within the first, I think, 31 or so he made. And then I had a second one that I had sent away to Silent Surfer to do his thing. And, you know, other than the excruciating weight, it is a beautifully done paintwork. I mean, it's obviously he never disappoints in the paint department. You could see here he went with the flesh tones on the neck and the worn out white that's on the neck and parts of the mask. He did a lot of shading like he always is known to do, to kind of give it that like he's in the shadows kind of look. And when you play with the lighting, it really does change the look of the mask depending on the angles and the lighting. Now, from what I remember from what Matthew said, this was usually, I probably showed this, or maybe the other one that I still had a while ago. He made this several years ago, and it was revolutionary at the time because he actually 3D scanned a mask that he had. And I think, if I remember correctly, this was originally intended to be a part 2, because the mask was technically a Warlock or a part 2 mask. But because of I guess the way it came out in the mold and stuff, it kind of still had more of a part 1 look. So he kind of went with that. So, you know, Nathan put his own spin on it with the hair. I still want to futz it a little more to kind of get those spike things going, which I will, kind of like this one has. Right there, see? That one's cool. And I'm going to kind of mess with it a little more. And I really do like it. This is the one I used for the promos of my Halloween vid this year that you guys see pictures of. And the icon of my part 1 video on YouTube shows this, that I got a really cool shot of him with like half dark, half light. It looks like a movie poster. It's really cool. But as you can see there, it's a really solid sculpt. It's really cool. And obviously Nathan's paintwork, as usual, brings it, you know, out to its best, you know, kind of highlights it more. And it really is a nice sculpt. And it's just kind of amazing when you look at these, how different these all are, but yet at the same time, all have a quality to it. I mean, you know, look at each one of these. They all resemble Myers, and it just proves the point once again of all the interpretations, all the things you could do with Myers, all the different looks based on the shadows, the points in the movies, whatever. Like, you know, especially these 3, you know, they all have a 78 original Halloween Michael Myers look, but at the same time, they're very different. You know, this one looks different from this one looks different from that one, this one looks different from both of these, and so on and so forth. Obviously, that one looks different too for what it is. So, you know, it's just, I'm fascinated with collecting them and having like different flavors. And they all work. They all look good on the body, you know, so it's kind of amazing. As long as you kind of stick to that formula, you could do that. So now I'm going to discuss this new one. This gentleman came out of left field, as far as I know. Got to know him this past year. His name is his actual, well, his alias name is Ski1990, and he made this Myers head sculpt that everybody went gaga for. It's really beautiful, and I have to say, probably this is the most newest, well, the newest, but also the best sculpt to kind of put its mark in the Myers world since the Mad Bug. As you know, Ryan Harper also has very good Myers sculpts, and I have more of those too. If you remember my other video, I didn't bring it over there. It's way over there, but I do have the 78 stretched look that, you know, that I have him holding the phone and the sheet, and that's Ryan Harper. And these sculpts over here are Ryan Harper, which I'll get into. And Ryan Harper has lately been killing it too and been the king of Myers. So he's made some solid stuff. I always love to buy his sculpts. But Ski 1990 came out with this one, and this is also the stretch look, which I'm going to get in there. You can see the slit and the open in the mouth, and it does look like the stretch scene, whether it's, you know, whatever point in the film it resembles. It could also probably be the killing the totally girl, Lindsay or whatever it was, not Lindsay, I forgot her name, but you know who I'm talking about, where he strangled her with the phone cord, and, you know, then he was wearing the ghost sheet, and then he was on the phone afterwards talking to Annie, right, or Lori, whoever it was, right. I'm like losing it right now with my Myers facts. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. But you know what I'm talking about. You know, the phone scene. And this could also work for that scene. It could work for a lot of scenes in part one. It's very well done. And once again, Nikolai did the paint work. So I bought the sculpt raw from, you know, blank from Ski 1990. And he's more interested in making the sculpts than doing the paint work and stuff. And, you know, we had the option of, you know, sending it to somebody we wanted to paint it. And remembering, you know, Nikolai's work with this, I wanted him to do this as well. So he did this paint work and herring, and he took care of business. He knocked it out. This is a really nice interpretation. I've seen others good, and I've seen others do a good job as well and do great work. Like Ryan Harper did one of these too, where he painted and haired one of these, and it looks absolutely fantastic too. So again, it's a good time to be a Myers fan for the 1/6 world, for sure. This is a beautiful sculpt, and again, I'll put that back on him. And currently, right now, this is my favorite, you know. And Ski 1990 is also working on another version of the 78 Myers sculpt with the mouth closed. So look for him, Ski, SKE. I think _1990, 1990, and keep an eye on him and his work, and hit him up if you're interested, because he's doing some really cool Myers sculpt stuff. This one, and he showed me some whip, you know, work in progress photos of another one he's doing, and I got to tell you, they look fantastic. It looks fantastic. So I don't think he's done. I think he's going to be a player in the 1/6 world when it comes to Myers. So pay attention to him and get yourself a painter in mind to do the rest. If you know, you want to get a blank off of him and get it painted and haired. I do recommend Nikolai for sure. But again, there's other options out there. Your choice. You could send it to Nathan. You can send it to Ryan Harper. Maybe there's other people that you know that could paint it, and I'm sure they'll all come out great, because the sculpt is what makes obviously the look shine. At the end of the day, you know, in addition to being complemented with the paint and the hair work. So all these are great Myers. And then here, moving to part 2s here that I have. So I'll tell you a couple quick stories. So originally, I had this one. This is an older one that Ryan Harper did. And once again, it was great for its time. And I had showed this before. I had showed this on the videos. And if it really does have that yellowish, like, aged 78 mask look that was used in 81 and worn by Dick Warlock. And I love the way the eyes look there. And he really captured it. And there's scenes in the movie I can literally see the mask looking like this. But then he graduated and he did others. And this one is an interesting one that I actually saw somebody selling. I believe it was Etsy at the time. And this is amazing right here. And this was also done by Ryan Harper. But at the time, I couldn't quite identify if this was supposed to be a part 1 or 2. The guy that was selling it really wasn't sure. He just said he got it from Ryan Harper. And he kind of did it like a part 1, but you know, he kind of built it up on a part 1 body with coveralls. I bought the whole figure from him and used the rest for parts. But I was really interested in this, the head. So I went to Ryan Harper and I asked him, and he told me that this is actually one that he did that's inspired from the H4 poster. So if you remember when they came out with Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, they used the original mask on the poster, even though obviously the mask in that movie looked very different. And this was the look of the mask. And it is technically supposed to be, I guess, designed after part two. But, it did have a kind of a different look than the actual part two that was in the movie because it was exaggerated for the sake of the poster. So that's what he was going with. But it's an awesome sculpt. And you can see, once again, different from this one. Then within this past year, earlier in this year, he came out with this, and I jumped all over this. And to me, so far, this is the best part two I've seen, with somebody doing it in the custom world. And I'm going to take this one off too. The coveralls are the Trick or Treat coveralls, the expansion pack ones. I got an extra pair that I in the set with their go sheet and all that, the pumpkin, everything that came with it, and I just converted it into green, spirit. What do you call it? Spruce green coveralls with the bullet wound shots, and kind of weathered it myself and kind of turned it into part two coveralls that I have him sporting here. So the scalpel, the hands, and the t-shirt underneath is from an old part two I had from a while ago, done by another artist. So when you look at this one is really amazing. This is his newest one that he came out with. I know he did like a Blood Tears one too that would look awesome for somebody, but this is basically the newest part two that I'm aware of that he's done, like I said, within this past year. I believe it was earlier in the year or late last year that I got this. And this is just amazing. So this is definitely, look at the eye sockets. You can see his eyes in there. It's incredible. And I'm really, really stoked with this one. And again, just like with part one, you could see subtle different looks, but yet they all look like part two. Look at that's amazing. But the difference here is these are all Ryan Harper. So right now, I think Ryan Harper is owning it when it comes to part two, the Dick Warlock version. And any of these are a good choice. I mean, I put this one on, this also looks fantastic. I mean, look at that. And it really gives me OCD as far as which one to go with. Because I look at that and I'm thinking, okay, that's equally as good, and I could be equally as happy with that as being the topper. And for a minute, before I'd shown some pictures of it on this body, before I was aware that it was technically the part four poster version of part two. So I kind of had it here, and it looked good even with this guy. So ultimately, this is the main one that I've been having on here. And, ultimately, it does capture the look of part two the best if you're going with the actual film. I mean, again, with different lightings and different moments, you can argue. We could say, well, look more like it from this part or less on it from this part, whatever. But I mean, that is part two Myers, man. And when you look at the two side by side, it's amazing the evolution. He's slightly taller right now only because he's on a stand, a Halloween 2 stand that I had. He's not on a stand, but if you were to kind of even it off and kind of raise them up a bit, they're pretty much the same height. And you could definitely see the evolution from part 1 to 2. So very happy with this. I'm in Myers heaven with all these choices. And I look forward to future work from Ryan Harper, from Ski 1990, the paintwork from Nikolai, Ryan Harper, so on and so forth. Keep it coming. We can never get enough Myers. And of course, commercially released ones. Sideshow came out with one. We have Trick or Treat and so on and so forth. So I look forward. I welcome all kinds. There's more probably in the works as we speak that I'm not even mentioning right now. So again, if you do like custom Myers figures, go for these guys. Look these guys up. Ryan Harper, Ski 1990. Look up painters. Get yourself going. If you want to track down a Kane one with the real mask, check eBay, check the forums. There's some out there. So really nice, really nice. But for now, I'm not selling any of these. These are all mine. I'm a Myers hoarder. All right, guys, moving on to the next topic. All right, guys, I'm back. And speaking of Dan Terzo and Gallactibles, here's some more goodies that was done by him. And I saved these three to show together in a separate segment for a reason. Why? Because I wanted to show another side of Dan where, in addition to doing his own stuff, and the Escape Myers run that you saw at the end of one that he's doing with Tinela and collaborating, he also does great kit bashing work, and he does great work with other people's sculpts and stuff like that as well. I've always boasted through the years that I could do a little of everything, more so with other people's sculpts. I'm not going to lie and pretend like I make my own sculpts. I did a little bit early on, made a couple characters, sold them and stuff. I dipped into it, but I never really got really that serious into it. So, Dan obviously is at the point at this point where he can, make his own head sculpts. He's doing some 3D printing and stuff, and hand, he does a little bit of everything, both, on the computer, both, hand sculpting, whatever. But he's also great at bringing figures to life with other people's sculpts. These two right here are Legio 7 that he completed into full figures, and did a great job here. This is the Lipstick Demon from Insidious. I believe also in the latest one. I have not seen the latest one yet. What was it called? Red Door. But I know that they brought the Lipstick Demon back for that. Look at that head sculpt there. I mean, that head sculpt is amazing. That's great work on Legio 7's part. But what Dan did was Dan went ahead and made it a complete figure. Now, this figure is kind of an interesting one. We'll start here because it's basically boring and simplistic, but interesting at the same time and detailed. He went. It's a little challenging to get him to stand only because by nature he has hooves for feet. So if you find the center of gravity just right, then it works. But you have to take your time to do that. The hands, I believe he said, were also done by Legio 7, have like some claw tips, so you got to be a little careful there. The nails on the end there, which is very nicely done. So the hands and the head were done by Legio, and then the rest of the body and the details, the fur shorts and the fur by the legs and stuff, and the paint job of making the body black, just like the character is, was all done by Dan. And he did a fantastic job with finishing the figure. The head sculpt is fantastic. It does have little details. Look at the teeth, and I believe he's got the earrings there by the ears that you could see. You can see right there in the corner. There's the earrings. So I mean, the details are there. And I got to tell you, in the first one, this dude scared the crap out of me that first time he showed up behind the kid's head in the dining room there. That first scene where you saw him, it was like a jump scare, and it was a pretty awesome scene. So very simplistic, but yet effective. And Dan did a great job making this a full figure. And kind of funny, when you look at this figure, I wanted to show another figure here that I promised to be part of my video here, and that's a custom Darth Maul that I picked up a year ago. And I picked this up secondhand from the original person that created it. He made a couple on eBay. And it's funny because every time I look at the Lipstick Demon, I get a Darth Maul vibe, right? Kind of could be Darth Maul's, like, distant cousin or something? The red, I mean, he's just missing the horns, coming out of the head. Now, this is a very interesting take on Darth Maul. It's kind of like a what if. It's I guess you could say expanded universe per se, or a custom. It's not accurate to the movie or the cartoons, but it's got the hood piercing and being worn on top through the horns coming through, which is cool. Paintwork is phenomenal. The belt and everything, the boots, really, really well done. He does come with a stand that I just took him off of. He was back there. That he doesn't stand great on his own, so he kind of needs a stand. I mean, I could probably, if I took my time, but I did take him off the stand real quick. And he does come with a certificate. I don't remember exactly who did it, but this is the certificate right here. Custom figure. This looks like it says 1 of 1, actually, even though I thought the guy made more than one of these. I remember, I thought there was 2 of these on eBay, but made it back in looks like in the year 2021, Darth Maul figure, and it says Classic Customs is the person signed here. So that's the certificate of authenticity that came with the figure, and really cool. So I guess this was a good time to show it. Star Wars doesn't really fit a Halloween horror theme, but Halloween represents costumes and all kinds of characters, so why not? But it kind of, like I said, this reminds me of Darth Maul here, but just in a more demonic form, obviously. Lipstick Demon is a demon, and this is a Sith Lord. So, yeah. So anyway, once again, the Lipstick Demon, very cool, and very similar to a Darth Maul. All right, so moving on to the next full figure that Gallactibles had finished here. Also done by Legio 7. This is a very interesting one. I needed a little education with this. I love this figure. This was a one-off commission that Dan did for a customer, and again, I'm reviewing it, which I'm honored to do so. Look at the clothes and the details. This is the Fulci zombie. Now, Fulci is the Italian director that made the movie Zombie from the 70s, and Dan reminded me of this, and I do remember this movie. I did see it a long time ago. I believe I rented it and saw it on VHS back in the day. It's an old movie, and I didn't realize, and maybe I saw it when I was younger, I'm not sure, but it did have a sequel. There is a Zombie 2 that I saw. I don't know if there's three or more of them, but there definitely was a follow-up that I don't know. I'm not sure if I actually saw or not. But this is basically the boat zombie, or more specifically, the yacht zombie seen on a ship in that scene. And this is the zombie. And I looked up pictures, and it's a dead ringer. So again, kudos to Leatherface for the great head sculpt, but you'll hear Dan talk about this figure in the interview that you're going to see in a little bit again, part 2. And he talks about a lot of layers of paint, and he really, took his time to get the paint work right. And, the details are there. I mean, look at the head. Kind of looks like a little bit from the back of Jason Takes Manhattan, right? A part 8 Jason there, where you have part of the head, the scalp showing there, or the brains. Blood coming out of the mouth, kind of drooling down to the neck, which is a nice touch. And accurate to the movie. Look at the hands, all the paintwork is great. The clothing, there's the bare feet right down there. And it's just gnarly. And, like I said, again, looking at the movie and looking at that scene and looking at pictures to remind myself, this is a dead ringer for what he looked like in the movie. And it's a really interesting custom. I don't think anybody has tackled this before from what I know. He gives a shout out to David Tucker, CC Creations, that I think started to kind of put this figure together originally. Shout out to Leatherface once again for another great head sculpt. And then Dan, kind of took it and kind of just completed it and made it a full figure for a customer, for a one-off, a one-of-one. So this is really cool, really well done for everybody that kind of had their hand in this. But Dan really took his time with the weathering, the clothing, and the paintwork to really kind of bring it home, and to kind of give it that accuracy from the movie. So really well done. And then finally back here, we have another interesting thing. Now, if you guys remember last year, I showed this Chucky done by somebody else, which is the burnt Chucky version, which basically they're using the figure that's commercially released, right? That comes in the Good Guys box here. They came out with some versions, NECA or what have you, and basically turns it into custom versions. And, I have a few that people took and then turned it into other looks, right? Other various looks, which, by the way, right over there. Okay, so you can see I have a few there, including the burnt Chucky that you see there. Now, that is the sculpt done by One's Customs. This sculpt, from what Dan is telling me, is also done by One's Customs. Same sculpt, same idea, and mine looks pretty similar to this one. But Dan did complete the rest of it, and he kind of added a nice little touch here. He's standing on a magnet that's in the box. I don't know if you can be able to see it in there, but there's a magnet there. So wherever you put the magnet in the box and you make it catch the feet on the cardboard, then Chucky's can stand. So he can stand on there without falling. I mean, he could still fall if you're rough, but if you notice, see? So he's magnetized to the box. Pretty cool and pretty good thinking. So you can display him with the box, and you can do whatever you want. You can have the box laying down with the magnet and have him standing on it that way, or you can have him stand on the top the way I have it right now. The magnet will follow the magnet that's on his feet. So you can kind of work the box into the display, which is kind of cool. And that becomes kind of his dio and his stand. Dan definitely did go more the charred, burnt look here for the look. And rightfully so, because he was completely black and burned. The one I reviewed last year, that one did, as you can see there, is similar, but you could still see a little bit more of the colors of the clothes there. So not quite as burnt as Dan went. Dan went a little more extreme with the burnt, but nevertheless, very cool. Another awesome interpretation of it. Like I said, utilizing One's custom sculpt and completing the figure, the paintwork and everything else. So really nice work there. And from what I understand, this figure is available if anybody is interested. He's available if anybody's interested as well. So, hit me up while I still have the figure, or Dan when you see it, if you're interested in purchasing these. Okay? And once again, the Fulci Zombie, this one is spoken for. This was done as a commission already, so this one is not available for sale. But, if you have interest in the figure, hit him up anyway. You never know, maybe he could do something for you. All right, but look at this figure once again. Look at the washing, the layers of the washing and the paint and the weathering. Really well done. Really well done. Kudos to Dan. So again, there's more figures done by him. Plus, Darth Maul. Anyway, so without wasting any more time, I want to now get to the second part of the interview with Tinela and Dan, and then further enjoy my conversation with them. And they got a lot of goodies that they were about to start to show you that I teased in part one. They're going to show you some stuff. Tinela's going to show you some projects, some tailoring she's working on for some future runs. and stuff like that, that you'll get a little inside sneak peek of what's ahead. And I got to tell you, a lot of cool stuff coming. So stay tuned. Here's the interview. Enjoy it. All right, Dan, go
All
ahead.
right, so pretty much what we've been working on, like we have this run over here. Let me show you, move my phone. We announced the Jason X and it sold out right away. Thank you to everybody. And now we can show a little bit further progression over here.
Oh my. And I'm on this run, so I'm equally as interested to see this.
So now, mind you, this is 70% done. We have the clothing by Tinela, weathering by me, shackles by me, sculpting and all that.
New plans are coming.
Yep. I do. This is just a machete that I had here. We're going to do an accurate one. We're doing the chrome surgical 202 machetes.
Right.
It's going to come with a box of COA. And we're going to do the nitro head kill of the girl getting her face smashed in with the ice.
My favorite kill. Sweet.
Which, funny enough, on the Run group chat, I asked everybody, would you guys like her face smashed in or would you like it just in ice? And Ron said, well, it'd be cool if you guys do a magnetic so you could do both. I was like, Ron, I'm already working on it. I'm living in my head rent-free. You got to start painting some rent.
Great minds think alike. I was already thinking that.
Obviously, he doesn't have this yet. The metal plates on there. He's missing a buckle. The gloved hands, I know we're still sculpting that and all that. But this is just to show you guys, we got the mask and we got the head sculpt. Now, I paint the prototype always, and then Julio does the run because he's on another realm of amazingness.
Right.
So, but he's got the stature. I'm telling you, he's as big as a part 7 Jason. I mean, I showed it to Rob and everybody behind the scenes who helped me.
That's fantastic looking.
And they're like, oh my god.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So you guys will see more professional pictures of this. I know through a camera phone ain't much, but I just to get the people hyped, what I'm saying? We haven't collected deposits yet. Deposits due next week, so it's not like jump on the run, you got to give me a deposit now. We like to show more,
Sure, absolutely.
So in my opinion, it's shaping up to be another home run. And the beauty about this run now, what I really love is the escape was 10. No more being done. I'm telling you, to this day, ever since I released it, I get multiple people every week asking me for this escape.
Yeah.
I says, I can't do it, buddy.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
It hurts, but I believe in exclusivity. I think that's an important part when people pay these prices.
Right.
This is huge.
Yes. Well, when you say it's limited, right?
We got so many things we got to tackle. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lie. When we say our list is probably 30 characters long, that's an understatement.
Wow. Well, I admit I missed out on the Escape Myers, but I'm not going to miss out on Jason 10 and so on. I mean, but I appreciate you lending me the prototype to review. And it is awesome. And I could see why everybody's very happy with the one they have. I know there's some minor differences with the prototype versus not much, really just the chain position and stuff like that. So this pretty much is it. But it's phenomenal. I mean, it's phenomenal. So, I look forward to future projects.
Perfected run.
From
the prototype to the end product, so trying to even perfect it, go even a step forward if we can. If we see something else, something missing.
Right.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
The run 99% of the time will always be better than the prototype.
Sure.
Always.
Sure. Well, that's how it should be, right?
The prototype is my play thing. Sometimes, sometimes the prototype is better because they spend more time. No, I actually spend more time on the run pieces because this is like, all right, I see what I did here. Now I know what I can do it in this formula a little bit better.
Right.
I know what to add. I know she's going to bring her A game because she's like, all right, we tried this. Let's add this. Julio's like, all right, he's already working on the formula in his head. So it's one of those things where like, it goes. Like, we don't slow down. We don't stop. We essentially want pieces that are timeless.
Yes.
That deserve to be in horror museums, that people pretty much salivate over. And there's only 7 of these. 7 Jason X. That's another exclusive thing. And you're not going to see it tackled again. We got too much of a list, man. So definitely don't sleep on the next few runs. I mean, Tinela can show a little bit now.
Yes.
All right, so Tinela needed a moment so she could prepare to show something here. So here we go. So Tinela, the floor is yours.
I'll show you a prototype for another few figures that me and Dan are going to do.
Okay.
For the loving collectors and for ourselves as well.
Sure.
This is something really sweet to me.
I wanted it for years and years and years, and I said to him, I said, please, 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 please. And he said, oh yeah, let's do it, let's go.
Nice.
And I didn't wait for his second yes or no. I went and done the clothing. That's the
Oh my. Look at that. And we all know what that's going to be. Or any true Freddy fan knows what that's going to be.
Chef Freddy. Now, I do got to say, that is extremely complex clothes.
Yeah.
Very complex.
Yes.
The ruffles alone. On top of it, I'm going to do the girl getting her face stuffed like a statue.
Oh,
as a
wow.
DX set to that. Or I don't know if we'll make it all just one regular set. But you're going to have her face. I'm telling you, the glove is going to be on a different level.
Wow.
It's going to be like no glove that you've seen before. And I don't mean just like different level.
That's amazing.
Dave is busy with the glove. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
Dave is busy with everything.
Wow, that's phenomenal right there.
This right here, I think, just like the Jason X, very unique. You never see many tackle this.
No.
I've never seen anybody tackle a Chef Freddy, and it's one of the most unique looks. Just like there is Super Freddy and Witch Freddy and all that.
Right.
I like the sensible, fun side of Freddy, and Tinela does too. So. This is definitely, trust me, guys.
Excuse the head, guys. He's a lovely head, by the way. Anyway.
Right. I'm working on the head currently, guys. Just give me time. I got so much I got to do. You know, we banged out the beauty about the escape. We banged it out in 3.5 months since the day of deposit. Jason X, I'm thinking 3 months, 2 months.
Right.
So I'm working on the head now, and I'm telling you, don't miss that Chef Freddy. That's going to be one of the most unique Freddys in this hobby.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely.
Never should be afraid, because we always have amazing prices.
Yes. Which is another thing to revel in, because, you know, it is nice that, you know, it's not so out of reach, you know, that it's something that's justified, but at the same time, you know, well, you know, like you want to get what your efforts are worth, obviously, but at the same time, you know, still make it a little more realistic for the customers, so they don't feel like it's totally out of reach.
I'll tell everybody my formula. I actually have a login book where I'll say, all right, I started, it's 8:30, 8:37, whatever. I'm seriously, I'll clock in, and then I write down when I stop, and when I go back in after lunch, and then whatever, because Ron, you always see me. I'm working in the shop. I'm never out of it. Odell says I have no life because of it. Tinela always sees me in the shop. Tinela's always working. I've never seen her out, maybe 1 or 2 times.
Absolutely.
And I clock in and I clock out, and I have a wage, an hourly wage, and that's what it goes. I minus my costs and whatever, and we add up Tinela's costs and all that, and that's the actual price. It's not something that we pull out of our ass to say. There is a logic to it, and we can provide receipts if people want. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that's the thing. There's a logic to it.
Well, at least you have that logic.
Opportunities to offer it for a better price, or I have spare time to offer a free accessory or something extra. We will. We're not afraid of that.
Right. That's awesome.
We're not afraid. We want to make your guy. We want to be memorable in your minds.
Sure. Wow. Nice. All right, cool. Now, Tinela, do you need time? Do you have something else to show?
Yes, but I need a second.
No problem.
Oh, okay. Me and Ron will talk.
Yeah, well, you do that. I'm going to ask Dan a couple things about other things I'm showing. So go ahead and do what you got to do. I'm going to focus on Daniel for a second. So, Dan, the one other thing I wanted to ask you about is, you know, I have a few new bloods here that I've been showing here, the Artisan, the Burnt, the Electric, and then also the Concept Swamp remake Jason you did. What was your motivation to coming up with these? Like the Burnt Jason is wonderful. Like that, to me, that blows me away.
Okay.
So what motivated you to do these type of Jasons?
Okay. It's very simple.
Okay.
Very simple. The most difficult figure to achieve, there's 2 in this hobby.
Right.
And everybody knows it. It's a Hobo Myers, Tyler Main, or a Part 7 Jason.
Part 7 Jason, right.
So it's a Part 7 Jason and a Hobo. Hobo's coming. We'll just say that.
Okay.
So I'm the type of guy that if I'm going to jump in, I got to jump in head first with the hardest thing that I can do. I tackled a few things first, like the Swamp Jason. And the Swamp Jason actually came about from my really good friend / customer, Andrea.
Right.
who I reworked an Elvis 1976 remake Jason for him into a concept. And then he was like, look, I kind of want something like an evolution prior. And I was like, all right, let's get this going.
Nice.
And we did that. And then I was like, well, you know, I need to tackle a Jason 7. That's what you got to do. Because if you can, excuse me, if you can tackle a Jason 7 and destroy that, I'm not going to lie, everything else is coming downhill from
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's a very complex... I mean,
And
it looks
I'm
more
gonna tell
simple
you
than it is, but yes.
I'm going to tell you something. Those Part 7 Jasons that you guys just saw are amazing, unique. But Ron, as you know, me and Tinela are always evolving. I'm not
Yes.
going to mention anything. Just stay tuned.
Okay. All right.
You want to see a fucking bombshell? We got a fucking bombshell.
All right. All right. Well, I definitely look forward to that.
I've been sick for 4 weeks.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm going to let Tinela continue now. Sorry.
Taniela, are you ready?
Really big.
All right. You can unmute now. I think if you're still muted, unmute so I can hear you.
I
Okay.
unmuted it.
You're good. You're good. Yep. Yep. You sound a little muffled at first, but you're good.
I think I know what I did wrong. I put it next to my computer, on top of my computer.
No problem.
Yeah.
I can hear you clear now. That's good.
But yeah, it's going to be something really big's coming. And, you know, there was hints to it. But yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, while she's still preparing the Swamp Jason, you know, I was saying like my take on it and what I mentioned in the review is that it kind of reminds me of what could have been with remake Jason if it would have continued. Because like as he would have, you know how like every of the old Jason movies, like his look changed from movie to movie, right? Or like you saw like deterioration or decay or anything, right? So like when I looked at that, the thing that I loved about it is the fact that it looks like what could have been, you know, as well as you know, a concept. So it's kind of, to me, it's like a hybrid between a potential remake sequel and a hybrid as far as merging
And
other
that's
looks.
what I like. I like doing the grounded concepts a lot because you have to have a little bit of validity and you got to stay true to the original movie that you're taking the inspiration from, but with your own twist. I could do a Jason whatever out of my own mind and it's going to be insane.
Right.
But it's also good to have that grounded stuff.
Sure.
Because to me, it's like as if I directed the next movie or the sequel. And
Right.
It gives me kind of an excitement in that. Like, well, you know, if I was directing the movie, and in my head, I have a story for every piece. Like, he did this and that. And
Yeah.
That's how he got there and there. And it's
Yeah.
fun. It's a lot of fun. And,
Absolutely.
I don't know. I actually just packed up your artisan piece. I know we were filming this prior, and
Right.
And I just reopened it because Rob shipped it back to me after he did the review, and I opened it. I was like, damn, do I really got to ship this out to Ron now since he got it? I was like, damn, I kind of want to keep that. But, man. And I gotta give a shout out to J. Jermaine Sullivan who grabbed the other one, and shout out to the other customer who grabbed the last one.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, stay tuned. There's something really big. So that's why I always go for the bigger characters, the really difficult things, because if you can bang out the difficult stuff, everything else is downhill. I look at anything I tackle, I gotta do the hardest thing first. If I'm doing chores, do the hardest one first. So everything else is whatever.
Yeah. Well, give me a quick, Taniela, just give me a signal when you're ready. But in the meantime, Dan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, well, I'll save my next question for Dan in between the next, so go ahead.
So, would you like me to show you our next big thing?
Sure.
I don't know how big.
Hey, show me whatever you're willing to show.
I just finished it last night.
Okay. Oh, I got it.
Now, people might not know what it is yet because of the color, but don't worry, the color is going to change. But if you guys can guess, something.
It's really bright because I have loads of light on my desk.
I already know.
Now, if you guys can guess, something is going to hell and is coming back.
Wow, okay.
A Jason goes to hell.
Nice.
Yesterday, I don't know, in some video calls and stuff I did to Daniel, it was looking white. I said, it's not white. But imagine if working on those miniature stuff, I have a lot of my desk here. So I'm kind of nearly there. There are a few things missing. I hope you guys don't pick them up from my turning and stuff.
Right.
But it's going to be a perfect outfit for Daniel to bring to bring the perfect figure.
Nice.
Now, mind you, that will be a fully sculpted figure on a 3D body. I already have the body. I have the head ready and all that, and obviously the clothing's got to go through my touch to get the exact color, weathering, and all that. But we just kind of base it off on similar proportions, and then I have my body exclusive.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Can't get that anywhere else.
Sweet.
That's what it is.
That
Yeah,
is
I'll
phenomenal.
one to Daniel this week, which is coming now, and you see, he's going to do stuff. We usually talk between each other. We do that, we do the other. And I hope it's going to be another cracking figure. I'm really
Yes,
excited about it.
absolutely. Absolutely. That looks, I mean, so far, I mean, I knew right away. So it's already recognizable, which is great. I mean, like you said, with the color, you could say it's anything, but I knew right away. So that's I'm very excited for that.
I'll put it to you this way: the Escape Myers robe started off white.
White, yeah.
Even the Jason X started off a different color, and I just tuned it up to the exact.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of weathering and coloring. You could do whatever you want. Actually, white's probably good. It's like a blank slate.
White is the best.
Yeah, the blank slate to do whatever you want with. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
Look at
I'm
that.
trying to give Daniel a really good base to start from and not to have headaches. And he said, "Oh no, we can't do that." Thank you. I said, "No, let me do my stuff first. And if it's not working, we got your idea." You know?
Right. That's fantastic. Now, Tinela, do you have something else you want to show?
Yes, I nearly dressed another thing while you were talking with Dan, but I'll need a few seconds to put the stuff in the...
Give me some questions, Ron.
All right, Dan. So let's talk the Fulci zombie. Let's talk the yacht zombie. What?
Oh, I knew he was all about it. So the Fulci zombie. All right.
Yes.
So this is how it kind of went down. And I got to give a shout out to David Tucker for this one, because the headset that Legio 7, amazing artist. Love it. I love it, pretty much everything he does.
It's a beautiful looking figure, yes.
Yeah. So David didn't need this set, so he's like, "Hey, would you want this from me?" And I said, "Absolutely." I love the movie Zombie and all that. Plus, it's from my people's Italians. How you doing?
That's right.
Your people's too.
Yep.
Ciao, prego, ragu. And I got it, and I was like, "Yo, this is a great sculpt." And I gotta tweak it in my own way. So if I'm doing the full body, I gotta have the paint match the body, and I go real movie accurate, like nonstop. Amazing what Legio did, but I gotta have my twist to it. So, David actually did the clothing for me on that one. I was like, "Dave, just do it basic. Don't do nothing to it. Just let me do my thing." And he did an amazing base.
Okay.
Amazing base by David Tucker. And I just did my thing to it. And I went real detail specific to the movie for that. Just the paint, the proportioning, the weathering. I really paid attention, the wet look and everything. And I wanted a real lifelike zombie paint, which as you can see, I believe I achieved there.
Yes.
Because it's got this decaying touch and look, but it's very full of colors too.
Yes.
It's like on a gray zone, but there's purples, there's hues of brown. Like I really took my time. You would not believe how many layers of paint are on there. If I tell you an actual correct number, I'll tell you. I know exactly the amount of colors are on there. There's 12 colors and about 13 layers of paint.
Wow. That's incredible. That just shows you what goes into that. And
the trick to it is not to hide the details when you go that heavy on layers.
Right.
The more paint you add, it kind of takes away. So a lot of water detail layers in paint, like water detail, like water layers of paint. I mean, just a lot of dry brushing is a beautiful thing. It's just different techniques. Every layer had a different technique to it. Yeah,
the result was amazing. I was blown away by it. And the sculpt was done by Legio 7, correct? Originally?
Yeah, he killed it. I didn't alter that at all. He absolutely murdered that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Cool. Well, that's great. I mean, so it shows again to people watching that you kind of you're not only good at doing runs or making figures from scratch, but also doing a little bit of hybrid, like kit bashing or improving
I'll do
things.
Anything you get my hands on. There's only sometimes a few things that I refuse because of timing, or maybe just because I don't want to touch that certain product,
right?
And stuff like that. but like recast or something like that.
Right.
I've been offered to, oh, can you do this? I was like, no, it's a recast. I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we all know that's like our universal, unofficial taboo. Yeah, no.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you collected, that's cool on you. I don't care. Your collection has nothing
Right.
to do with mine. I don't give a shit. You do whatever you want in your private time, but I'm not going to put my name or my stamp on something that I don't want my stamp on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, speaking of...
thing...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
One thing that, like, I started out with is, like, using scopes from another artist, like Mon Twain. I used his heads, made my figures that way, and now, you know, I make my own things, and I'm kind of gearing away from it because I'm so run heavy now. There was a point where, I'm not even gonna lie, I had 45 commissions. I was able to bang them all out. Now I'm gearing towards more runs, but I will still take commissions at any time if my time frame allows it. And but a lot of people, I want to keep to my own heads at this point. At this point, it's my own brand, Tinela's brand. I will absolutely try if I can help. I'm not going to shy it away, say no. But, you know, I want people to understand. I want to do me.
Yeah.
Me and Tinela want to do us.
Well, it's an evolution, right? It's an evolution. Right. You know, the lipstick demon that you had me show. You know, another Legio 7.
Another fun piece to do by Legio.
Yeah.
Legio did the most amazing lipstick demon head sculpt I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
That is amazing. I've seen 2 of them. He absolutely did amazing.
Yes. And I love how you finished it. It's simple but yet effective. I mean, it's not a complex figure, but at the same time, there's certain details that needed to be there that you put there with the hoof, feet, and the fur and the color scheme being all the same, and it's beautifully done. The burnt Chucky, another example that I showed of yours that you're talking about using somebody else's head, right?
Yeah, and that was actually something that was I think I had laying around from years ago. I was like, I actually tried to sell that head sculpt, and you know, because nobody really kit bashes their own or makes their own full custom figures because it's a full burn piece.
Right.
It's not easy to sell those kind of heads if there's a lot of work to the body where they can't kit bash a coverall set or something.
Sure.
So I had to make my own, and I never really put it up for sale. I had it sitting because it was for my own collection, and then I was like, let me toss this around. And
yeah.
But we're going to be doing our own Chuckies. That like there's any character you can think of, we've already thought of it.
Sure, absolutely.
And we've already started. Like she's showing you some prototypes that are pretty much almost done clothing. There's probably another 10 to 15 pair of different coveralls or clothing to other characters that we started, and we can't even mention in this video.
Wow, that's insane. Now,
I mean, one thing that you have right there in front of you is the Netflix Leatherface.
Yes.
Very proud of that.
That's
details, amazing. And even look, Julio. I got to give credit to Julio on that. I just did the sculpts and produced it. He did the clothing and the paint and the detail he added on the chainsaw with the Poland 306 sticker. I'm blown away.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Even Julio is a fanatic for details.
Absolutely. Now, there's one more figure. There's one more figure I wanted to get in before we go back to Tinela. I know she's almost ready. The concept Jason 9 that you sent me.
Yes.
Now, what I love about this figure, I'll give you my thoughts first, which is what I say as part of the review, is I love the idea that, number one, it's almost interchangeable. What I mean by interchangeable is that you provide a concept, but also it could very easily be a Jason 7 with the alternate head sculpt, right? I mean, if you remove the bracelet chains off his wrists, it could also pass as a Jason 7. But the details with the rib cage and the maggots and stuff in there. Did somebody ask you to do that as a one-off? Or like, what inspired you with that one?
What happened was, what's funny is, I already sculpted Jason 9 last year, and I had a body, and I usually do a test print, obviously, just to see if there's any failures in the mesh or anything like that in the 3D file first, and I set it aside. I wasn't planning to do a Jason 9 anytime soon. I was doing it as a commission for somebody, but then I just never. I think he wanted to change the commission to something else, or he was just like, I'm not ready for it yet. I was like, all right, that's fine. And I had that body laying around. So then I was like, all right, let me just start making a full body, whatever. And it turned into that. So that piece is actually, I started it last year. And when I was doing it, I had no intention of it being an accurate Jason 9, I was actually doing just a fun paint app because it's more on the purpley reddish side, like menacing brownish.
Right.
Kind of thing. And then I was like, oh, let me add maggots. Let me add this. I was just, it honestly was a piece that I did on my downtime for fun.
Wow,
like,
nice.
Just to, like, all right, if I were going to do maggots, let's practice on this. If I were going to do this, let's practice on this. If I'm going to weather it this way, let's practice on this. What if I do this gray color? Would that be accurate for the part 9? Okay, it's a shade lower, but we're still going to use this for this concept.
Right.
So it was like a practice piece, but it turned out to be amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. And I'm very impressed by it. It's got a very menacing shelf presence.
It's wide, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Somehow, some way, I wasn't trying to make him like bodybuilder stuff, but he got some proportions. I was like, all right, well, we're gonna roll with it. And I really like it because I've never seen a Jason quite with that presence.
Yeah, and it makes my OCD go nuts because I look at this thing and I'm thinking, man, how would I display this? Would I display it with the Jason 7 head on it? Would I display it with the Jason 9 head on it? But it's wonderful to have that kind of option with one figure. You know, like you can kind of, you get bored with it. Maybe you switch it up. Okay, I'll make him a Jason 7 for a little bit. You know what? I'll go back to making him look like the concept, or I'll just do the, more of a Jason 9 look with the head sculpt. I mean, I have the head right here. I don't have it on the figure currently, and people that are watching the video will see the full review that I do with it. But there's and this is the Jason 9 head, right? Which is beautiful.
It's got its own unique paint app.
Yes, and then
the one that we're gonna use for the run is altered. It's a little bit more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is the Jason 7 that you included with it, the alternate.
That's the Gen 1 Jason 7. We are up to Generation 7.
Nice.
Of heads.
What, now, I noticed there is subtle differences between this one, not a lot, but subtle, and then the one that's on, like, the burnt Jason. So what's your, now, are you going strictly on generation, like you're upgrading the sculpt in general, or are you also trying to fit the sculpt to the particular look you're going with?
The burnt Jason scene is very specific. It's
right.
He's got a very specific look.
Yes.
Even more if you really go back and look at that movie, when his mask cracks, he's got a specific look. But then when he's on the dock, he's fucking pissed.
That's what that one looks like. Yes.
He's fucking pissed. He's got this look like, all right, you did this to me. Watch what I'm about to do to you.
Yes.
So with the burnt one, I went a little bit like subtle details. But you know what really makes it look different? Is the paint app. The paint app really changes it up. It could make a sculpt look a little bit skinnier, a little bit wider, a little bit more menacing.
Absolutely.
So the paint app was actually a big play in that piece. Now, like I said, the Burn Jason is a Gen 2 sculpt.
Okay.
And I just finished that like 2 months ago around, so we're already at Gen 7.
Wow.
I pieced some of those earlier, but...
And where does the Artisan Jason and the Electric Jason, like where does those fall? Gen 5s, okay. So you're constantly progressing, that's great, man.
You know what it is? It's like, let's put it in perspective. If you are a Olympic wrestler, Olympic player, whatever, you start off and, you got some talent.
Yeah.
To get to those levels, you got talent. But then you just build up your tactics and you go back and you rewatch your tapes of how you did and you're like, well, I could have done that a little bit better. Well,
yeah.
If I actually did this, I would have won that.
Yeah.
So it's just going back, and I literally, because when we're sculpting or doing anything like that, we stare at the screen for so long that you miss stuff. You put it down for a week, you go back to it, you're like, okay, that's where it could have done better. And that's the thing. That's why I mean, by Christmas time, I'll be up to Gen 57, probably. That's what I feel like.
That's all. Well, I got to tell you, the one thing you accomplished from my taste, you're, like I told you, we've had conversations a lot about how the Part 7 Jason's one of my favorites looks as far as like from the old school Jasons. This is the first time that I've ever had a Jason in my presence where I'm more motivated to keep the mask off than on. And that's saying something, because usually, people will make Jason 7 sculpts, and for sure, and you may like it may look great, but you still want it ultimately with the mask on, right? That's usually the end game, usually. But this, and that particular look, with the nails and the specific burnt look that he had, I like it without the mask. And like you said, the split mask, that's fine, because it still shows his face, but that's rare because, usually the default is, keep the mask on, but you definitely accomplished a specific look here that, you know, he does look better actually with the mask off and captures that moment, you know, accurately. So
Appreciate that.
yeah, that's awesome. That really is. That's kudos to you for that.
One unique thing about those, which the people that have these sets should feel very lucky because, well, I can't really say that, but I should feel happy because I'm not going back. I don't offer old gens. Those are, so essentially some people have one-offs.
Right.
That will not be retouched. So to whoever got those Jasons, good on you, because I will not retouch it. I will not reproduce those sculpts. I always keep moving forward. So those, give it time. If not already, they're already gems.
Right.
As far as my repertoire, like you guys own the only ones.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So Tinela, how we doing over there?
I nearly finished dressing the second body as well, and I'm just putting the boots because
Okay.
why not?
All right, cool.
Playing around, just tying some laces. I've got one ready, standing there waiting.
All right,
Just
whenever you're ready.
a couple of seconds, won't be long.
Okay, no problem.
Just what I want to say about this, the next one that we are going to show.
Ron,
Do you
I
have-
do want.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Continue.
Do you have an idea, a guess what is going to be the next one?
Well, I have ideas based on what we talked about prior.
Give him a hint, Tinela. Give him a hint.
It's got a machete, obvious.
Is it also in the Jason family?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a wannabe type Jason?
He's got it.
Behind you, can I?
Yeah, so we're talking about Roy, with good old Roy here, right?
Yeah.
Part 5.
Saying about this Roy, this is the prototype here, which is going to go to Daniel next week.
Oh my! I already love the clippers. That's amazing.
Oh, they got teeth and everything, man. They're insane. And
Wow.
They function.
That's amazing.
So, hang on, where's my finger? I'm trying.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. I've never seen one made with teeth like that. That's incredible. At least as far as I know. Wow, look at that.
Actually, the run on this one, on the clothing and weapons, is nearly finished.
Yeah. Well, you know, he is a little more. I mean, there's some details there, but I would say he falls more on the simplistic side versus some other looks. And he you know, out of all of them, he has mostly the Michael Myers look with the, you know, the coverall looks versus the shirt and pants look. But yeah,
I'm the one holding up the run. I started the sculpt. I had to put it down because now I got to focus on Jason. Roy Burns, though, I believe the run will be out and finished. I can't say finished, but nearly finished by December. So
Wow.
we finished the Escape. We'll finish the Jason X for sure, and possibly that one too. 3 runs in a matter of like 4 months.
Wow.
You might go for the quick one as well. I don't know where are you with the head, which I'm going to show next as well.
Nice. Now, where is Roy in the process? Is a run already been established? Is there a list yet?
No, well, we hinted to it, but so Escape was done. Jason X is officially going on now. We have no other runs going on. Roy and another run will go simultaneously at the same time after Jason X.
Okay. All right, cool. So everybody keep your eyes peeled on this for sure.
Yeah.
I rushed to dress it. So, yes, the prototype is done. Clothing, you have got quite a few done. Weapons is done.
Yeah, amazing. That looks incredible.
Dan had to pause it on this one. When he gets the prototype, we'll discuss a bit on the body side and if we have to do any changes or whatever. But I don't think we have to. I think we have the solution between the two of us to make it the perfect Jason. Because I would love one.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Have my Jason collection.
Yes. Well, you guys are already on your way for sure. All right.
Okay. I'm going to now take this from this one, and I'm going to show you another one.
All right. I'm whenever you're ready.
Any guesses?
Oh, well, let's see. Well, I have some guesses in mind, but I don't want to overspeak or speak about something that maybe you guys aren't ready to announce. So
I don't even know what you're about to show, to be honest. I'm kind of messed up.
I mean, I know I have an idea, but I'm not sure in what order or
Tinela, give us a hint. Even I'm messed up on this now.
We got a huge axe.
A huge axe.
That's every killer.
Well,
Like this one.
there is a character that came to mind when
I know
she's...
exactly who it is.
Are we talking about... Well, yeah, see, I don't want to say it and then give the wrong answer or disappoint anybody.
If I had a rattle...
Oh, okay.
I would shake it.
Okay, are we talking Babyface?
Yes.
All right, and I do know about this as
No,
well.
fuck. Sorry, we're talking about a different axe.
Oh.
The Hills Have Eyes, Pluto.
Pluto. Yes, Pluto. Okay, yes.
From the remake.
That's where the axe... But I know... But you guys are doing a Babyface, so it's okay to say that, right? Yeah, okay.
I'll dress that one up as well if you like.
Okay, all right.
What's you next?
Yes.
Bear with me, so I put a massive axe
No problem.
in his hand.
So what's the backstory with this? Yeah, so what's the backstory with this?
Was, I already had a Pluto sculpt ready to go, and she was like, well, we got Pluto ready to go too. We did the axe. I was like, oh, well, let's combine them, and we got to run.
Nice. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a beast. When I put my touch to it too, man, it's going to be insane.
That's fantastic looking.
Can you see them? Is he focusing?
Those are actual real pockets.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. You can see the threads there, everything. Wow.
So it will be the ultimate Pluto. That will be the ultimate.
That's crazy. Look at that. Oh, look at that. It's just showing that you can actually put something in the pocket there. That's amazing. Look at that.
And it has real fastening on the jacket as well. I know Dan is going to be very happy fastening all of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I can't wait.
Yes, needs finishing off the handle and painting it and not polishing, lacquering. Yeah.
Right.
One. But yeah, it's on this one. The weapons are nearly ready. I haven't worked on the actual run. We just have the prototypes ready for this one.
Okay.
But
wow.
It won't take me long to make them, if you know what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed a very lengthy part 2 of that video between Gallactibles, a.k.a. Dan Terzo, and Tinela Ayres, which, there's going to be a little bit more to come in part 3, where we'll wrap up and you'll see the final part of that video. As you could see, a very informative chat. They definitely filled us in on a lot of stuff that they have either already out that they were talking about or coming. So a lot to be excited about, and I'll conclude that in part 3. But to conclude part 2 now, to show you a little more goodies before I end this, wanted to show some Leatherfaces I've been tweaking for the past year, catch up on another character, plus finally do the full review of this guy here, the Leatherflix that we've been talking about and teasing for the last 2 parts, up till now with Dan. And I'll get to that in a minute. That'll be the main event. But let me start with these 2 that I've been working on. Now, I've showed this before. This is the classic 74 Leatherface, obviously what they would call Bubba. And, I had, this figure also went through sort of an evolution. So it started out as a 3-0 at the base. And I had picked this up off eBay. Somebody had kind of modified this one. I have a 3-0 of my own that I've also kind of tinkered with. But this one I had seen on eBay at the time, and I kind of liked what the guy had done so far. And I had shown him, I think 2 or 3 years ago in a Halloween vid, as I had gotten him from this person. Somebody on eBay, I don't remember his name, but, he did some good work as far as customizing it and bashing it. And basically, I wanted to take it one step further, so I kind of had some motivation based on some things I still felt were a little off, or I wanted to make more accurate, right? As accurate as I could to this, this version. And I did get inspiration from Beta Metalli's Bubba, as far as the color scheme and how he did it. And I kind of wanted to run with that a little bit more, but kind of put my own spin on it, obviously. So the apron that was originally with the figure, this is a custom apron, that I kind of reworked and painted to kind of match the appropriate color scheme, which is kind of like that banana yellow type apron, which is technically accurate, I guess more accurate or closer to the accurate to the screen. It did have a lighter yellow than I think some kind of portray it or remember it. And Beta Mortali's Leatherface did capture that kind of look. So I wanted to kind of, you know, work off that and kind of go with that look a little bit. And I had, you know, previously bloodied it and stained it, and I kind of did some dry brushing and washing over it to kind of give the stain a more retro feel, meaning that it's not fresh, like say like this is, right? They're just splattered currently, but more so from past events, right? So it's kind of got like that worn blood look, like it's been through it, right? And it's dried up from the past. So that's kind of what I was going with there. So simply put, I just kind of bloodied it up, you know, originally, and then kind of overlaid it with yellow and kind of made it look like it was more soaked in, if that makes sense, and stained, right? So that's kind of the look I was going for there, and I accomplished that quite well. Obviously, the chainsaw is a 3.0, I believe it's a 3.0 chainsaw, or I don't think it was a sideshow one yet, because the Pretty Woman sideshow that I did rework, as you guys remember, and it's right there. And there's the grandma version that comes with the sideshow set as well. And there's a phone. No. But you guys remember that I did that one there. I'm very proud of that Pretty Woman I did. I reworked the paint app on that, and then I did the herring and stuff. So weathered up the outfit, changed the body, kind of fattened them up. So I showed them last year, so I'm not going to waste time with that again, but still very proud of that figure. And along with this, it kind of complements. And I reworked the hair on this one a little more, repainted the mask again, because the person that I got it from, although did a great job kind of reworking the 3.0 sculpt to make it look more like the original, I wanted to take it a step further and kind of give it more of that beigeish, sort of like light brownish look with a touch of yellow mix in there, but not too much. Thicken the eyebrows a bit, you know, and kind of just wanted to go that one step further with, you know, the color, giving it more of that brownish look than yellow. And then I also sculpted, and I kind of added creases and folds and stuff to the mask to give it more depth. Ooh, I almost knocked it over. To give it more depth, I should say. More wrinkles in the mask and kind of make it more accurate. The 3.0 sculpt, although good, it was a little too rounded, so this gentleman definitely fixed that and kind of reshaped it a bit. And then I also kind of, like I said, I added to it and kind of added more details in there, more creases, just with some Sculpey, kind of like added more to the sculpture to kind of give the mask a more wrinkled look and sort of like the way it should be there, especially on this side here. So I kind of reworked that all around and kind of added, you know, the string was there already, you know, everything else the person I got it from. And I messed and futzed with the hair a little more to kind of add to that. So I'm very proud of it. I love the way it came out. You know, obviously the arms, the body, the bracelet 3.0. There's the bracelet that comes with the 3.0. The pants and the shoes and all that. This stand is from an old sideshow, the old sideshow Leatherface that they came out with years ago, which was also the Bubba 74 version. The pants and the body and all that I fattened up. There's the shirt that I kind of weathered a little more, and I did dye it sort of like a touch of pink, which I believe the pink is nothing more than dried up blood and stuff that got in there. I don't know for sure, but it always had a pink tint to it, of course, to be accurate. And I wanted to give that look in there, give it that dirty stained pink look in there that, you know, I would imagine, again, is kind of just like dried up stains and blood and all kinds of stuff that kind of worked itself in the shirt. And the shirt is accurate. It is the pinstripe shirt there, as you could see. So 3.0, you know, I believe originally did a good job with that. And again, I may be mixing up what's 3.0 and what sideshow. I don't remember if this is from, I don't think this is the Pretty Woman. I'm pretty sure this is the 3.0 Leatherface that came with the pinstripe set, which is, I just dyed it pink and stained it and weathered it some more. But the tie and all that also originally 3.0. I really appreciate how this came out, and you know, overall I really am happy with how it came out, and it's part of my collection, and I kind of did it for myself, and I really like it. So again, motivation from the actual accuracy of the screen used outfit and how he looked in the movie, and other past figures like Beta Mortali's and so on. And he is very tall. I made sure he had the height for sure. So he's taller than average, which he should be. He should be taller. All right. Now, moving along here, this is an oldie but goodie. I had showed this a long time ago. I had done this kit bash and kind of reworked a sideshow remake Leatherface and kind of just made it more gnarly and kind of more weathered, kind of weathered the crap out of the shirt underneath and customized the apron, repainted the chainsaw, the whole deal. I've showed this years ago, but the one thing that I've been sporting with it lately is the second sculpt that comes, the Kemper mask that comes with the set that I've had for a while from One's Customs, which is the full figure I still have over there, as you can see. And you know, I did recently rework the hair, which is why I'm re-showing it. What I come to realize is that the hair, in more recent versions, I've seen newer versions, I've seen people do, the hair is actually short, not long. So I kind of shortened it, tried to give it a little bit more of that, you know, the right hairdo, or the shorter look hair. I also wet it to make it look kind of glossy and sweaty, you know, kind of like where the blood and the sweat is mixed in there. So I definitely reworked the sculpt a bit, and wanted to update it and give it more of that, you know, that hairstyle that the actor actually had. But somebody that really captured even more, I saw on eBay, and I picked up this sculpt, and this is kind of really what I wanted to show. This really takes it to a whole nother level, the Kemper. He's got that, the hairstyle really down here, and it really has that appropriate hairstyle. So you could take a really good look at, really little close-up on this. Look at how good this is. But again, you know, I couldn't think of it earlier, but it's a mullet. That's kind of what they said is the accurate hairstyle is a mullet. And he came very close. He did a very good job. This is done by a person that goes by the name Distortion Enterprises. And I'll flash the name on the vid here so you can look him up. Does some really cool stuff, some nice paintwork, and I had happened to see this on eBay. And he made, I believe, a couple of these. So there was one that I missed out on, and I saw that he did it again, or he had another one available, so I snagged that one. And if you look really deep in there, there are eyeballs, there are eyes, and then you can see there is teeth. So the interesting thing about this sculpt is that you could use it. When I was looking at it, I originally thought the eyes were hollow. And they very easily could be made to be, because I was looking at it more as an add-on, like a prop. Like, this is what it would look like before he put it on. He just had it on his desk there, or, you know, had it on his table. So very much different from this one. This one definitely looks more like, you know, he's actually wearing it, right? Now you put this one on, which is actually a very sinister, cool look, and I really like it. It's definitely an upgrade. Definitely changes the whole scope of the figure, right? It gives it a completely different look. But what I also like about this one, again, and I talked to him about it, and he said, yeah, you could, you know, black out the eyes, because the eyes are a little set back, right? And if you kind of black out the teeth there, you could just make this a prop, which is what I've been doing here, and just add it to the table of this guy, and now it looks like the head that he took off, say, before, you know, he put it on. So that's kind of what I was shooting for there. So really nice accessory, or you can actually make it a head sculpt, so it does look good either way. So again, you know, making old new again with the, you know, updating the hair and trying to improve it from what it was, because again, the hair is supposed to be more like a mullet and shorter. But let's get to this now. That was then, this is now. And this is the other head sculpt that I didn't have yet at the time when I originally showed this figure, you know, on the side when I was interviewing Dan and Tinela. But this is I guess the other head sculpt. I guess this would be the original head sculpt that would come with the figure, and then you have the more bloody one that you saw him sporting earlier in part 1 and a little bit earlier. So this is the bloodier one. So this is the one that I had received first. Look at that. Look how gnarly that is. And look at the blood work on this thing. This thing is just fantastico. And apparently, you know, this is the work of Dan, obviously, Gallactibles and collaboration once again, but also the paintwork, I believe he said, was done by Julio, and he mentions that in the interview that you saw. And he has a magnet system here, as you can see, and this is another successful run that they're doing right now. This is the prototype that he lent me to show. It has a magnet system in there, so it can easily just kind of fit on the neck, like so. But look at the detail. Look at it. It's pretty cool. Now, as you guys remember, I had another Leatherface, sorry, as we call them, that I showed last year in my vid, and that was also a very good piece. And this has definitely got a different vibe and a different take on it. Some people will say this is more accurate, some may not, but, you know, it definitely is accurate, definitely is another spin, another take on it, and it's very well done. And I love the blood effects on it, and I told Dan this, that I really loved the rawness of this one, how real and fresh the blood looks. Like, it looks like it just happened. And that's one thing that's different than the other one I had shown last year, that, you know, it's definitely got different tone to it, a different kind of feel to it, which is great. Look at these two together there. Look at that. That is amazing. Look at that. I mean, this is fantastic, but this is just another level of paintwork here. And look at that. I'm going to put that on there now, and you can see it in all its glory. That's amazing. And of course, he's got the family behind him. He's got this little nice dio behind him that I believe he said is also part of the run. Simplistic, but yet effective. It's got the, you know, the wooden floor here with the blood stains on it, and the backdrop with the family picture frame there, which is great. Which is actually accurate to the movie, if I recall, because I believe this is where he was being, this is where he was, right, at the home there. And I think, if I remember correctly, that's him up there. Or I remember they were looking at this in the movie. So, grueling sequel, by the way. It wasn't actually bad. I actually enjoyed it. I may watch it again. And the way he gets this mask is very gnarly. I mean, it's very different, obviously, from this one. But yet, you know, this is a continuation of that one. This is supposed to be a true sequel. And, of course, there's other accessories like the foot here, with the nice bloody work there too as well. You can have there, and this axe that's also an alternate weapon for him that Dan sent me to show that he did. So if you want to have him hold that instead of the chainsaw, you know, you got another alternative here, but really nice. So obviously main event worthy. You know, I ended the first part with Escape Myers, which blew me away. And this one really blows me away too. I mean, really, once again, you know, I become such a geek fan of this work when I see it through the camera. Because, you know, you could pick up even more details that I don't see with the naked eye. It looks great, but when you really see it up close like that, you really could see some of the details and the effects of the paintwork and the blood. I mean, especially this one is amazing. So really great job. Look at the blood work and the splatter on the apron and the forearms and the hands. Really nice, really raw, and just brings something different to the table, you know. And look at the color scheme, and look at you can see the skin texture. You could see more subtle blood on this one, obviously, than this one, right? But I mean, both very effective, So amazing. I vote for this one. This one is for the win for me overall. But again, if you like a little bit maybe earlier in the film, or when he's less bloody, and you can kind of pick up more of the face more, and this is, but you know, hey, with a magnetic system, you don't have to really have too much OCD. Just keep switching back and forth and have fun with it. All right, guys. So that concludes part 2 of Halloween 2023 1/6 video review special edition, part 2, Stay Sick. And nothing says stay sick more than that right there. Stay sick. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us. I'm going to be uploading this video. This video should be dropping some point in the 20s, October 20-something, which should be some point midweek. I'm going to be bold and say my birthday was this past Friday, October 20th. I'm filming this on Sunday night, finishing this up on the 22nd. So by the 25th, I want to say, maybe this Wednesday, or maybe sooner, maybe a day sooner, depending how fast it is to edit and upload this. It might be up on the 24th. Maybe even the 23rd. We'll see. Just keep your eye out peeled for part 2. And I'm going to get cracking on part 3. And I'm going to finish up, you know, the rest of the stuff I want to show. Got plenty more to show. And I'm going to show more of the Tinela and Dan video to finish that up. And hopefully have that out, you know, well, definitely we'll have it out, not hopefully, by Halloween Eve or Halloween Day, Halloween night. So you guys can enjoy all 3 parts by that point. Okay, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Joebizz34, stay sick.